Let's talk about why I talk about you so much. Why do I spend so much energy in this world of trying to build you up? Because so many of us, I had a conversation with a good friend last night. So many of us, we don't understand that we are our own answer. And we've lived our life duped, deceived, and dumbed down. Now, I know you don't like how that sounds. As an American by birth, I don't like to believe that my country, that my leaders are against me. I'd like to believe that we're the greatest country that ever was and that we still are, because that's what I've been told. But when we look at our very dark history, it begs question. But not only does it beg question about the country, it begs a deeper question about us as the citizens. While it would be easy to come up with reasons why, as a country, we've got to do better and all of those things, the reality is that we are the country. And leaders only have as much power as we allow them to have. And it's not even that the leaders are the problem, it's that we are not leading our own lives. Man, have you thought about what I just said? We are not leading our own lives. In fact, we're so much not leading our own lives that we think that the choices that we make are ours because we haven't stopped to consider, why did I make the set of choices that I've made? Who and what informed me that that was the right choice to make? And why would they give me that choice? For instance, this is just for instance, I thought about the American dream. The American dream used to be go to school, get a good education, get a good job, buy a home, right? And you're doing good. But let's slow that down for one moment. If you're doing that in your 20s slash early 30s, do you even know what you want yet? Have you even identified yourself? And what I mean by that is, do you know who you are such that you would make choices that would allow for you freedom versus constraints? Now, I'm all about, well, I guess we call it ownership, but if you don't pay your taxes, it gets revoked. So do you own it? But that's a different conversation. I'm not having that one today. I'm trying to get you to think, why did you choose the choices that you chose when you didn't know who you were? So the benefit to the government, to the, let's see, to the disempowerment of who you are, is that once you do get to know yourself, hence the midlife crisis, you're ready to uproot, change, do whatever it takes because you realize you've been living a fantasy that wasn't your own. This is why I talk about the stuff the way that I do. Because too many of us are living someone else's fantasy based on what they told us was true. The only problem is that you didn't really buy into it because you didn't really know if it was true for you. And now you have to fight it because you've made the choice and you're stuck. What's the further benefit? Once you purchased a home, you're locked in for however long that period of time is. What it does is it ensures you're going to be in a specific location where specific resources are going to be with a specific job locked without the freedom to do what you need to do because now you're just getting out of student loans or you're still in student loans and now you're in a home and not. It's a system designed to perpetuate itself, which has nothing to do with you. And I'm not saying the system's bad. I'm saying if you get into the system and you're not thinking, now you are a product of it. And so many times in our country, we are the product and we don't even know it. We're the product of violence. We're the product of debt. We're the product of so many things that are controlling us, dampening us, dimming our lights, and then we're left to fight one another and blame other people for the misery, the trauma of the decisions that we made blindly. Man, I got to wake us up because one thing I realized over this last weekend is that I am society. You are society. I'm now of age where it is my personal responsibility to speak out, to use my voice to bring about transformation, to awaken people to stop sleepwalking. We talk about a zombie apocalypse. We're already zombies, but we don't know it. We think we're choosing. We think we have all this freedom. Have you looked around? Have you looked around at your choices of freedom? I was in this one training at one point, and they said there's decision. Decision means to cut off, right? To make a choice, and there are no other options. Or as of late, I've been hearing more burn the boats, right? And while that has a lot of good merit to it, I want to talk about choice for a moment. What I learned in this training is that choice is based just because you choose. It's not rooted in an if this, then that. It's not rooted in someone said this is right. It's simply if you had two ice creams, one vanilla, one chocolate, you're choosing chocolate because you just choose chocolate. That's freedom. Not choosing chocolate because you don't like vanilla because where vanilla comes from. That's a whole other conversation. For if you know, you know, one of those things. But we don't choose, and we think we're under this umbrella where we think we actually have choice. And we think we've been making these choices all along. But my friend, if you've been sleeping, if you've not been acutely aware of who you are, why you do what you do and don't do, and can't decipher between who to vote for and who not to vote for based on your own merit, not what has been propagated as an example, then you aren't self-aware. I mean, it's crazy. But I have to speak up because if I don't speak up and do my part, then I am not contributing to society, therefore not benefiting the future, which then I have to leave to my kids and your kids. And I can't afford for you to sleep on the sidelines and keep following the system as it is as well. Yeah. At what point are you going to stop hoping Uncle Sam solves the problem for you? Or not caring about anyone else because it's just about you and what you have. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. This is why we get angry and we say, well, you can't feed everybody or you can't give healthcare to everybody because I earned mine. No, you didn't. You were a product of a system that benefited you. And you have no sense of moral obligation to benefit everyone because you think you're self made. But it doesn't work that way. But because we've been asleep, we don't even realize it. So we lose or we become dehumanized and we live this journey as if it's our own and we have no obligation for anyone else because you did it. You did it. You got it. You pulled yourself up by your bootstraps, but it's really all a lie. But you wouldn't know that if you're not doing the work. If you're not going within to find out why this, why that. I'm going to leave you with one very interesting reality. A lot of the conditions that we see people operate in and we think they deserve or they put themselves there, nah, it was staged. They didn't put themselves there. We have enough science and research as humanity that we create conditions on purpose. Government creates conditions on purpose because they know the outcomes that are going to be a result of it. Look around. Look at us now. Why do we have a gun ratio of 4-1? Why? Is America that unsafe? No. We're not all game hunting. Yeah, there are some, for sure. I got some friends who have several pieces that they enjoy. But slow it down and think about it. This isn't about gun control. This is about you control. Who is running your life for real? Why do you get up and go to work every day? Why? What would you stop if you could stop it right now, but you won't because of an obligation? Look around, check in. This is your coach. Listen, I'm just trying to add value. If we don't have these kinds of discussions, you end up in the midlife crisis and doing things you wouldn't normally do because you're trying to find an escape. You're trying to find a way to take a breath. I love you. I care about you. Let's go.